Thanks a lot once more. In this video, we'll be now doing questions on microorganisms. In my previous video on microorganisms, I was teaching and I was revising through what microorganisms are, some examples of them, the advantages and the disadvantages. In this video, we're going to be looking at some test questions that you'd expect to do at school when they give you a test at school. That's what we're going to be looking at. So it's going to be biology test just on microorganisms. Now, if you've not looked at that video, it might be good to go to YouTube and look at that videos. If you go to YouTube and you search me up, Teacher Mr. Wino, and you said that video up is on microorganisms, and watch that. Then before we try these questions, we're gonna run through. Okay, so Teacher Mr. Wino on YouTube, and there's so many other videos that you might find useful, whether they are for maths, biology, chemistry, physics, 11 plus, GCSE, year 8, year 9, year 5. Yeah, all those videos are there that you can find useful. In today, we're going to be looking at some questions. I'll give you time to do the questions, and then after that, we will mark them together as we run through them. But I would like you to tally how many marks you get per question. So then at the end of it, you're going to add and see how many you've got out of 30. And then we can decide to grade you and tell you how you're doing. All right. So if you want to be outstanding, then make sure that you're going to get 27 and above. All right. And so let's start now with question 1. So the first section is basically made of question 5 with 5 questions, and they're quite straightforward. So I would like you to pause the video and try question 1 to 5. You don't have to copy the question, just make sure you write your answer. And this one, like 1 mark each. Okay, so pause the video and try section A. Pause the video right now. Okay, so I hope that you've paused that. Now I want to show you the answers for this. We've learned this in the previous videos. I was explaining what microorganisms are, and so on. So I want you to mark them. The answers are right on the right hand side. I want you to pause the video and just mark them. Okay, so I hope that you've paused the video and you mark them. If there's any question you got wrong, what you want to do is to make sure that you copy the correct answer. Okay, like for example, I said that microorganisms, some of them are very good, like the yeast for making bread, and also the bacteria in the gut that help to digest your food and so on. But I also say that most of them are bad, like pathogens, the ones that cause diseases are quite bad. All right. Now we're going to go to question 6 to question 10, and these ones are kind of hard, not very hard. Each one is 2 marks. So I'd like you to pause the video and try section B. Pause the video right now. Okay, so these ones are quite hard if you realize that. So the first one, we're going to go, question 1 says, name 2 differences between bacteria and viruses. Now, I said that bacteria are living cells. They are cells, but viruses are not cells. They are like just molecules. They're not proper complete cells, but bacteria are cells. Now, bacteria can reproduce outside your body on their own. But viruses, they need a host. A host is like a cell they enter in, or a tissue that they enter in, and then they reproduce there. But bacteria, they can just reproduce like outside the body, just like on a table. If there's food and there's nutrients, they can just multiply. But viruses, they need to enter your body, then it is your body they're going to use to multiply. Okay. So this is it. Question 7 says, describe how food poisoning can be caused by microorganisms. I gave you earlier on an example of salmonella, which is normally found in chicken. What happens? It can actually grow on or inside your food, right? So let's say it's a piece of chicken that you have. If that piece of chicken has got some bacterial cell called salmonella cells, then they can multiply. And if you eat that food, they can cause you to be ill. So is eating food that is contaminated with that pathogen. That's how food poisoning is. And when you eat that food and that pathogen enters your body, after some few days or 1 or 2, you start diarrheaing, you start having cramps and stuff like that. Okay. Question 8, we say that a pathogen is a microorganism that causes disease. We already said that. And in the previous video, question 9, we says, explain one way microorganisms can be spread from person to person. We said things like sneezing or coughing, like airborne diseases like COVID, dirty hands, for example, and you're touching food and all that, or even sharing contaminated food or water. Like, for example, when you are in a swimming pool and you're swimming, and that food is contaminated, and you drink that water by accident, you can get infected, and then you can start getting ill. Okay. Question 10, what is the role of microorganisms in decomposition? They break things, dead plants and animals, they make them rot. And this is good because then you can do your recycling of nutrients back in the soil. When a dead, let's say, for example, I've got a dog that is dead, and you bury this dog in the soil and the earth, after some time the dog is going to rot. And why that is good is because the atoms and the nutrients that the dog has in his body are released back into the soil. And this can then be used by other organisms to grow, like maybe plants and stuff like that. Okay? All right, so I hope that you marked question 6 to 10. Now I want to go to question 11. I want to go to question 11. I will now go to question 11. So now pause the video and try question 11, 12, and 13. 11, 12, and 13. This is a bit hard. Okay, so I want to start running through them. If you haven't done them, please pause the video and do them. Now I will start to go over them. So question 1 says, compare the structure of a bacterium and a virus. Now, when I recapped on this, I didn't go deep into this. But one thing I said is that bacteria is a complete cell, and you always have things like cell wall and cytoplasm, but it doesn't have nucleus. I said that bacteria doesn't have nucleus at all. Now, viruses are not proper cells, but they're molecules that are made of protein. So they have what you call a protein coat, and they have some genetic material like DNA, but they're not in a full cell. There's some kind of a molecule, you see this, that is coated in protein and it's got some genetic material inside, like DNA, genes, and stuff like that, but it's not in a proper cell. All right. So those are the key differences. But bacteria is a complete cell with cell wall and cytoplasm, but doesn't have nucleus at all. But virus is not a proper cell, no. Okay. Question 12. Describe an experiment to show the growth of bacteria using petri dish. How can you grow bacteria in a petri? That's what the question is asking. The first thing you need to think about, what are the things that you need for bacteria to grow? The first one is food. And this food is called agar. See this one? So it's called agar gel. Is some nutrients like in a gel form. Like like for example, the butter, the things that you use for making bread, for put on a bread, the spread. Not the butter, but what do you call this? I can't remember. But is this sweet thing that you put on bread? Apart from butter, you can always put this one. I remember that is jelly-like. That is, that's called agar, and that agar has got nutrients. So you need food basically, and the temperature has been a warm place. So make sure that it's in a warm place, and then all you basically do now, leave it for a couple of days, and you should be able to see bacterial colonies. So use agar in a petri dish, the one I showed in the previous lesson, and swab a surface like doorknob where you'll get bacteria. Just rub it on a surface that is kind of dirty. You'll be picking bacteria there without realizing, and then stick it on the agar gel. Apply it on the agar gel, and then cover it and leave it in a warm place for a few days. And after that, you will see the growth. We call these bacterial colonies. All right. Some of them will be green. Some of them will be, see, portion green, another portion black, and all that, maybe red and stuff, because those are different bacterial cells. They will just grow like that. It's kind of when you leave food in the kitchen, or you don't wash your plates and leave it there, maybe under the bed or something for 3 days. When you go look at that food, there are things growing on it. That's what this experiment is. Question 13. Explain how vaccination helps protect us from diseases caused by microorganisms. A vaccine is made of what we call a weakened or a dead form of that microorganism. So basically, if you have a virus or a bacteria that can cause disease, what they do is this. They have another version of that bacteria, maybe a dead one, and they inject that in your body. And then your body is going to have immune system developed and ready to fight the real pathogen when it comes. So it will help the immune system to create antibodies that will fight future infections in readiness. That's what a vaccine does. So it is a pathogen, dead one, or a one that is weak that cannot cause disease, or it could even be an artificial one that when they inject in your body is going to provoke your white blood cells to start producing antibodies and what we call memory cells. Now, when the infection happens in future real, then the antibodies will be released very quickly and they will deal with it before you start getting ill. Okay? That's how vaccines always work. Vaccines can be good because they can help prevent spread of diseases, but sometimes they don't work on some people, and sometimes they make you feel ill after using them. You can feel ill. Now we'll go to, you can finish marking and then you're going to go to the last questions. Now we're going to go to the last questions, which is 14 and 15. So pause the video and try 14 and 15. Okay, so I hope that you've done it. If you haven't done it, please pause the video and do 14 and 15. Okay, so I hope that you're done now. So question 14, why are antibiotics not effective against viruses? You know, antibiotics only kill bacteria, not viruses. Because viruses, they live inside your body cell. And antibiotics cannot get into your body cells, no. And if they can get into your body cells, then they will kill your body cells first before killing the viruses. So viruses cannot be killed like this. You can't just deal with them using antibiotics because they live inside, they're hiding inside your cells. So you can't access them. Okay? Question 15. Explain 3 ways a student could spread microorganisms. Number 1, dirty food. When the food is dirty, it means it's contaminated already with bacteria Also mosquito bite that can spread disease like malaria. They transmit the pathogen from one person to the next person. And again, sneezing will release viruses or bacteria to the air. When you cough them, they spread all over. Okay, so this is it. Okay, so that's going to be the end of this. So I hope that was useful. Now I want you to, if you've been tallying your marks, if you didn't tally them, you can tally them. But if you tally them, then out of 30, see what you've got, and then pick which grade you are at. Okay. Now I can say if you got 17 and less, you might need to go and learn this topic again properly. Anything 17 and less, please go watch my previous videos or go take a textbook and look at microorganisms again. Okay. Okay, so thank you so much for this video. Just a reminder again that if you're looking for more videos like this, you just need to go to YouTube, Teacher Mr. Winner, and there are videos like this there. Okay. Otherwise, thank you so much, and that's going to be the end.